Welcome to part 2 of trying to make the cardigan of my cyber Lolita outfit. I am Haley, aka the pink cuddlebug. So I got pink on today. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but we're gonna move on to the front and back of the cardigan. So let's make some mistakes and figure things out. Woo! On the final iteration, I'm going to use a fake leather type thing. I don't have that right now, so we're going to use this black PVC instead. I know fake leather is a lot thicker than this material, so I'll definitely have to make adjustments when I'm actually working with that material. So if I make a stencil today or a template, it's probably not going to be exactly what I need it to be. So I'll have to play around with that once I actually get that fabric. But for now, this is good to use because we're working with a very small scale. We need something thin. Alrighty, here we go. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, first I'm starting to pin the fabric on the mannequin. And I realized this piece was way too heckin' big. I could not figure out how to make it work, so I cut it a lot smaller. And I gave my mannequin a little toilet paper roll pillow just to angle it better so y'all can see. Maybe I'll decorate that to make it look pretty. Now I'm figuring out how to get the folds that I want. As you can see in my picture, gonna throw this up again for reference. Or not again, this is the first time you've seen it today in this video. So let's review what I'm trying to do. I am trying to get 2 folds of the fabric just below the shoulder. The picture shows the folds to be parallel with each other. It's actually not what I'm going for. That was just the best picture I could find on Google to kind of emulate the folds. What I really want is the folds to be at an angle 30 degrees apart or something like that. Okay, I've got a good starter point of the fold of the fabric and how I want it to actually look. So now I'm going to cut out, not cut out yet, but pin the grid paper to the mannequin and then start cutting things out so I can start to make a template based on the fabric, but also figure out how much of the paper I actually need to use because I don't want to waste a bunch of paper, Now I'm putting the fabric that I pinned over the little paper template and tracing so that I can cut out the fabric to match the template. And then I'm unfolding the fabric, fill in the gaps where I traced over it. Hopefully it'll line up better, I guess, maybe? Also, let's start counting how many templates it takes me to get to the final thing that I want. This is number 1. Off to a good start. Now that I've cut out the fabric, I am placing the template over it to make sure I cut it out correctly, and it appears I did not. So now I'm trying to make the fabric fit the template by redoing the folds, but I don't remember how I folded it. What do I do? Okay, now I'm gonna try to put it on the mannequin to then fold it correctly, and then make sure that the template fits? Yeah, okay. No, something is not right. Because there's too much extra fabric. Okay, what if I put it on the other side of the mannequin? Oh, suddenly that seems to fit. Whoa, did I cut it out backwards? Oh, that's probably what I did. Okay, yeah, this actually looks really good. It looks like it fits, except for this long piece here, so I'll cut that off. There we go. Yeah, now that looks good. Oh, yeah. But does it fit the template? No, it does. Why does it not fit? Okay, I guess I'm making a second template, so this is number 2, based on this new piece of fabric. And this time I am folding the template to see how that fits on the mannequin. I probably should have started with some kind of template for the cardigan. What is the top of what does the shirt look like on a person? But I didn't, so I am struggling through this entire thing because I don't know what shapes look like on humans. But also, it's just really challenging trying to get folds in there too, because I don't see this kind of fold very often, especially when they're at different angles. And I don't own any garment with that kind of fold on your above your chest or on your shoulders. So I am left to my own devices. which is experimenting, problem solving, trying several different things. Also, is this template 3 or 4? I lost track. Okay, I just backtracked and this is number 3. Starting to look a little bit more like how I would expect, but I need to figure out how the folds look at like the center of the neck, at the top of the garment. Like, how do I make it not look squished? Perhaps template number 4 will be the answer to all of my problems. With this new template, I have definitive corners where the armpit goes, so I know exactly where I need to fold. So that's awesome. And voila! This is how it looks on the mannequin, and it looks so pretty. I'm happy with it. And now a word from our sponsors. It's me, I'm the sponsor. If you want to support this project, you can donate to my Ko-fi account. The link is in the description down below. All the funds will go directly to the materials of this project because it's expensive. And anything over that will help me pay my bills. You can also PayPal me at thepinkcuddlebug@gmail.com. Personally, I prefer Ko-fi because I can set up a goal there and you can see like how many people have already donated and how much is left. And I like that transparency, but do whatever is easier for you. And if you're like my cat and can't support me financially, that is okay. You can also like, comment, or share this video with your friends because boosting goes a long way. Also, I love talking with y'all in my comments. And now back to the main video. I finally found a shape that I like after 4 iterations. And now that I have a template I like, I'm going to cut out some fabric and pin it on the mannequin. But I also need to keep in mind, on some sides I will need a seam allowance to sew other pieces of fabric together, but I don't need a seam allowance where it kind of goes from the neck to the armpits. With fake leather, you don't need to hem the edges because it doesn't fray. So on to the next step, oh yeah! I finally realized after many struggles getting this fabric to fit on the dang mannequin why it wasn't working. I accidentally traced it and cut it out so it would be on the wrong side. That's when I realized I needed to transfer the fabric onto the other side of the mannequin, and voila! Suddenly all of my cuts make sense. That's something I'll definitely have to keep in mind when I do the full-size version. But it's okay to make mistakes, cause that is how we learn. Now I'm cutting the fabric out, but I'm doing transitions because I'm lazy. Also, it's just tedious. Y'all don't need to see every little step. And now I got them pinned together, all folded. And now we're gonna sew them together. And we sew, cause we're so cool like that. And look at how pink the thread is. Isn't it so pretty? Yes, it's so pretty. And look at how pretty these seams look. Just kidding. They're gonna look a lot better when I use my sewing machine. Now we put everything on the mannequin to make it look like a real darn thing. Look at how cool it looks, oh yeah. Ta-da! It's starting to look like the real thing, almost. Before I sew everything, like the sleeves to it, I'm actually gonna work on the back first, and then I'm gonna sew all the arms on it, and then it's gonna look like a real thing. So far this is very challenging, but also very fun and exciting and rewarding because I'm like seeing it come to life, you know? Oh. I almost forgot, another thing I have to add to it is the collar, but I think I'll do that last, like after the back. After the back, but before the arms. Yeah. For the back of the cardigan, I did Google what the back of like a shirt is supposed to look like. So I found some pictures, and here's an example of a template I found. For some reason, these templates have like no measurements on them, and it's really annoying. So I just have to guess how big the armhole is supposed to be, I guess. Back to what I'm actually doing in the video. Cut out my template, so now I'm testing the fabric over it, see how it needs to be folded, how I have it in my picture. I'm gonna throw it up again, because I don't think I showed you the back of it yet. But I have 2 folds in the back at maybe a 30-degree angle, similar to the front. And of course, I have to think about how this is going to scale up. So I'm taking measurements of like how big the folds are, multiplying that by 4, seeing if that's too big or too small, and making sure the folds are even compared to where like the point of the back is. Gotta have that symmetry. And I don't really have anything new to say about this process, but look at how long it's taking me. And this is at 5 times the speed, so there's a whole lot going on. And It's taken me so much time. Okie dokie, I finally figured out something I like, so now I'm cutting the fabric to match the template. And then we unfold the fabric and then put the fabric on a new piece of paper to make another template based on the fabric with the folds included. And then we do this process again and again and again. Okay, just kidding, only twice this time. Then I'm tracing the template onto the fabric and then I'm gonna cut that out again. But this time I'm gonna do some cool transitions. Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah, and another one. Ho ho ho. And then I put the old template on to see if it matches, and it does. And then I'm ironing it to make the folds stay in place. Alright, let's see how this looks on the mannequin. It looks too big. Maybe I can fix this with the, just sewing. Using a larger seam allowance. Because I really want to make it look like a crop jacket, you know? I do not want it to cover my entire back. Maybe I'll have to fix that in the next template. Moving on to the trim, this one proved to be especially challenging because of the unusual pointed angle that it's at, and I wanted to fold it over the sheer fabric so that I don't have to hem that. And ideally I'd want it to be one solid piece, not two separate pieces like I'm trying to do here. So I have decided to try another method. So I'm taking the paper and using that as a scratch sort of thing. I cut it into a V shape and then folding along each of the long edges to see how the folds need to interact and then be sewn together. But then I was like, oh, I can just cut out a little bit so there's not an unnecessary chunk of fabric, so it'll be mostly flat. Now I'm making the actual template with the actual measurements that match everything. I had a hard time getting the height right, and you can see it seems way too thin when I put it on the shirt back template, but I decided to cut out the PVC fabric with that size anyway. See how it looked on the mesh? And I was right, it does not look good. I like thick trim, so I'm making a larger size, which is about double in this case. And then I fold it in half and then I cut off the edges just to make it all straight. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. And then I cut out the PVC, which I skipped, and now I'm pinning it onto the shut mesh words. And you can see that looks so much better. Ba-na-na-na-ta-da. Now I'm gonna sew it onto the mesh, but I'm gonna skip it cause it's tedious. So here is how it looks all done. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. And now I'm gonna see what it looks like on the mannequin. Ba-da-da-da-da. Still looks kinda big. Boo! The back is on, sorta. I just put one pin in there. I have successfully created a front and a back. I didn't pin it on very well, so don't look at it too long. And I think that's all I'm going to do today because I'm exhausted and that was a lot of work, honestly. So thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.